Okay, so right now what I wanted to do was demonstrate a little technique that we use in self-awareness methods, which is where we take a small sentence or a phrase or a question and we repeat it over and over again in multiple permutations, multiple different ways of explaining or discovering or exploring in all its many forms. So what this might look like is something like, Dosta, why are you angry at your mother? And someone would ask me that question if I was working in a group, and I would answer that question. And then when I've answered that question, the person who I'm working with would ask me again, Dosta, why are you angry at your mother? And then I would answer again. And it would go on like this for some 10-15 minutes. And what we would find is that my answers would change, my answers would develop. And usually when you're following this process and it's working, it goes into deeper levels. It starts with just the mind, and there's a story and there's an explanation. And then further down there's a feeling, there's an emotion. It's more like in the throat or in the chest or in the heart. And then it moves down into the belly, it moves down into the guts, and it becomes this full body experiential thing. So I wanted to demonstrate this now with something that is sort of realistic about what I'm doing. And I wanted to answer this question, or to finish the sentence of, why is it that I find it so hard to talk while I'm walking? So here goes. This is an exploration or an example of how this might look, just with a simple one that's that's maybe not quite as heavy as Dosta, why are you angry at your mother? So I find it hard to walk and talk because mind and talk is a pinpointed experience, and walking, particularly in nature, is an open experience. It's a multi-dimensional experience. It's an expansive experience. I find it hard to walk and talk because I want to look at the things around me, and I don't want to be talking and getting my mind in the way. I find it hard to walk and talk because so much of my energy goes into my feet and my heart and my breathing, and that distracts from my mind or my ability to think. I find it hard to walk and talk because I like to be peaceful when I'm walking. I find it hard to walk and talk because I'm paying attention to the surrounds, looking out for mud and mess, which there is a lot of right now. I find it hard to walk and talk because I become conscious of people around me and conscious of what people might think if they see me or hear me. I find it hard to walk and talk because my ideas flow quickly when I'm walking. I find it hard to walk and talk because my state of mind is so fluid and multidimensional that things open and expand. I find it hard to walk and talk because words seem smaller than the phenomenological experiencing of my mind and my body and perception. I find it hard to walk and talk because explaining something is never the same as experiencing something. I find it hard to walk and talk because I like to look at the little birds and see what they're doing and wonder what they're thinking about me. I find it hard to walk and talk because I wonder if I'm going to slip over. I find it hard to walk and talk because I don't like putting labels to my experience. I don't like putting words to what is happening as it's happening. I prefer to just allow it to happen and to not describe it. I find it hard to walk and talk because I run out of things to say and my mind becomes fed up with trying to explain things. I run out of words, I run out of the effort of putting things into my mind. I find it hard to walk and talk because my effort wants to go into the heart. My effort wants to go into the feeling center. I find it hard to walk and talk because I come up with lots of creative ideas that I want to have as something that is undercooked and not refined and not set in stone. I find it hard to walk and talk because I become out of breath. Perhaps I'm unfit, perhaps I need to do some more exercise, although I have been exercising quite regularly. I find it hard to walk and talk because I become conscious of the sounds that are around me and I want to hear the birds. I find it hard to walk and talk because the quality of the atmosphere evolves, and that means that I need to adjust my voice in order to fit the surrounds, because my voice is very much in relation to the atmosphere and the situation and the ambient sounds that are nearby me. I find it hard to walk and talk because I'm always looking for something new to feel, and I'm always opening up to what the current experience is. I find it hard to walk and talk because I'm afraid of what people might think. I'm afraid of what I might say. I find it hard to see, I notice that it's becoming a sort of brokenness, yeah? It's becoming a struggle. I find it hard to walk and talk because it becomes a struggle. I find it hard to walk and talk because people might think that I'm on the phone or think that I have someone to talk to. I find it hard to walk and talk because most of the time when I'm walking, there's no one around and I'm by myself and I'm enjoying some alone time, some quiet time. I find it hard to walk and talk because my breath changes, my hands tingle, my ankles open in their joints, my lower back becomes relaxed. I find it hard to walk and talk because the direction of my eyes and the rapidity by which they change direction evolves. I find it hard to walk and talk because I want to notice something that is outside my own immediate experience. I want to put my attention into far off things. I find it hard to walk and talk because my mind wants to expand into the nebula and become large and existential. And talking really is a local thing. It's a small-minded thing. I find it hard to walk and talk because I really don't have time to explain things. I don't have time to express myself through words. I find it hard to walk and talk because I'd much rather express myself through art or music or poetry or just pulling a funny face. I find it hard to walk and talk because nature is so vast, and being open to nature requires no mind. It requires feeling and perception and expansiveness and mystery. I find it hard to walk and talk because talking has nothing to do with love. Because love is not something of the mind, it is something of the unspeakable. It is something of the unknown. It is something of the feeling. I find it hard to walk and talk because I want to feel the love. I want to be open to love. I want to feel connection to the land, to my environment, to what it is that I'm experiencing in this moment. I find it hard to walk and talk because I want to be myself. And talking, What I say is not what I am. I am an experience. I am a mystery. I am a flowing. I find it hard to walk and talk.